allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, roll call.
Chairman Boyd,
Here.
Commissioner Gustafson, Commissioner Blackwell,
Here.
Commissioner Strong,
Here.
Commissioner Newbold,
Here.
Commissioner Newsom. Paul Wiech.
The approval of the agenda for tonight. Motion. Motion to approve agenda. I'll second it. Discussion, modifications. All in favor? Aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay, approval of minutes. We have two meeting minutes. July 22 was the meeting that I wasn't there. So we got Don and Scott, you are the men to do this. So a motion to approve the July 22 meeting minutes. Don, you get a chance to look it over?
Yeah, I checked it out.
Scott? Yeah. Oh, good. Okay. Entertain a motion.
I would make a motion that we approve the minutes as presented for the July 22nd meeting.
Second. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. August 6th meeting, that's a pretty thick one. For some reason. Well, I have a question, is that we have the meeting minutes, and then we have, that's on the agenda, so, anyway, so, right, yeah, I see what it is. I'm not sure what it is, but we'll explain it. So anyway, a motion for the August 6th meeting minutes. Special.
I would make a motion that we accept the exceptionally good minutes that Gail has provided for the August 6th meeting.
She does make us look good. Second. Discussion? All in favor of the August 6th meeting minutes? Aye. Opposed? Okay, audience participation. Anybody in the audience who wishes to speak on matters not on the agenda? Anything tonight?
I'm thinking,
Okay.
I really do have a question, though. Yeah. I'll speak loudly. Jean Fancher, 37248 55th Avenue South. Last night, the council passed a resolution changing the definition of, city building code infractions from infractions to penalties and changing the process. And it talks about violations in the code. Perhaps the clarification, are existing structures that were built before the city building code was adopted, I mean before building permits were required, are those kind of grandfathered in, or if somebody complains about your structure, will one be ticketed? I just wonder if there's any feeling on the planning commission about how those zoning and building ordinances in the code or from the city planner, what the effect will be on those of us who have older buildings built before the current state of subdivisions and houses, I think it's about 1980. I don't know when the building code was first adopted.
Okay, we'll have to do a little research on that. That might be best directed towards city council or the planning, okay, yeah, great.
You're right, the question is out of the purview of the planning commission, and now that your authority is more strictly defined, you are limited to land use and zoning, et cetera, more so than having such a broad range of items brought before you. It's my understanding that in general, that when somebody puts an addition onto an older home, that the addition has to meet current code, and there's no requirement to upgrade the rest of the building unless it's a hazard. But this is a question for Ken Barnett.
Well, Jean also asked if just structures that have no building permit because they were built before, I guess what's the date in which there would be no penalty?
The date before there are any requirements for building code? I don't know when the first building code was adopted.
Yeah.
So again, that might be a Ken question.
Yeah.
We can pass it along to him.
Thank you.
Sure. Okay, we're down to item 5, marijuana. Talking about marijuana again.
Here we go again.
Ordinances regarding zoning, licensing regulations, formal regulations, city council. Staff, can you enlighten us?
I'm going to be forwarding your recommendations to City Council at the workshop on Tuesday. Carol Morris, our attorney, suggested that a signed recommendation from the Planning Commission would be valuable to present to council, and that's why I had 2 copies of the minutes signed. But this is also it's an agenda cover sheet for my presentation to council. It basically is a summary of the ordinances and how the Planning Commission voted.
What are you referring to, Paul? Just in the packet.
It's called an agenda bill. It's right past the minutes.
Oh, I see.
Agenda item 70.
14-0XX.
Right. And this is a draft, and I'm going to proofread it as well, but basically outlines what the 4 ordinances were, when the hearing was opened, what the city attorney's recommendation was, and then we will also include the sign-in sheet and the written comments received. I decided not to make your packet too fast, but they will receive all of that with this agenda cover item. And I broke out the recommended actions, which is, A, recommend approval, B, recommend approval, C, recommend to not approve. I hope that's parliamentary. And then D, forward to council with no recommendation. And then motions for consideration. So this is a point of departure. The Tuesday's meeting is a workshop, and we'll come back again the following Monday for council to take action on it if they desire. It's more of an FYI. And if it doesn't read right to you, please make recommendations.
Seems like it's just a summary of what happened, right?
Right.
It's an executive summary of the event.
Right, and the vote. But the minutes really do describe what happened and how who voted.
Yeah, it looks like a good recap. I mean, the read is what happened, so. Any further comment on that? Did you get it, Scott? Did you get a chance to take a look at it?
Do you have another set of
Do we have another?
minutes?
I didn't read it, yeah. Yeah, it's about.
Yeah, I was reading.
Okay.
So were you asked by the attorney to do this?
Oh, you could just set that down on, there we go. Yeah, there's no point in getting up every time.
The attorney said we aren't in a hurry anymore now that there's an extension. I would prefer to have a written recommendation from the planning commission and signed off by them. The agenda cover sheet goes in the council packet in front of every action item so that that's a council summary of what the item is and a recommendation for a motion or an action on the part of the council. It's a sort of standard format.
You've done this before then?
Yes, for council.
But I mean, from things that we've passed? I don't understand. I don't understand. So did the attorney ask you to put something together? It sounds like the attorney said they would prefer to have something signed by the planning commission.
Yeah, which is the minutes is effectively that.
Okay.
And
But then you do this cover sheet, this agenda bill, but have you done it for other
I've done it.
ordinances or other things that we have?
Yes, I've done it for other ordinances.
Okay, because we've never seen it or it's never been brought to our attention,
No.
so
No.
I didn't know that was part of the process.
That's, as it goes through council, they now require that every item have a cover sheet on it to make it easier for city council to know what they're reading.
But was it done in the past?
Yes,
You did do it in the past?
Yes.
Okay. But you're saying now that now they want that with everything that goes through there. So I was confused that we hadn't done it before, it hadn't been something we did before.
it might have been included in some of your packets when something came to you from council, so there's background material. But this is what's going before them on Tuesday, so it's just a sort of, for your information.
Well, we never signed anything before.
No.
And this is just,
I mean, you may have in the past signed it, but generally the signed minutes function as you're agreeing that this is what happened and this is what you decided.
Well, how is that different from what she asked? I don't understand why she would ask for it if that's what standard operating
Yes,
procedure.
I'm not quite sure.
Sounds like-
Our relationship is new, and so I'm not sure what she's aware of that we normally send to council.
I mean, just the way you read it sounded like it was a different document, that she wanted a written statement.
Possibly because the issues were so confusing, and we normally, as you know, don't deal with 4 ordinances, some of which are conflicting with each other.
Yeah.
So I believe that's it, so it's for the record.
this
And
looks like a nice summary page, rather than trying to digest the minutes, it looks like it's.
Oh, yeah, but I mean, are you going to sign it then? I mean, is this what?
The minutes did that. I mean, the minutes satisfied that. It's just, this is their time is more valuable, you see, so they can read the summary page, but we have these random papers all over the place that we have to compile, and so this makes it easier for them to.
Oh, no, I get the summary part of it, but again, I'd never seen this before. You described it as a document that goes with all the ordinances or some of the decisions that we've made, and I've never seen it before in 2 years. So I've never seen it before.
okay.
I don't think, well, I mean,
But it's after an ordinance passes from here and it goes to council, the cover sheets are required. I think in days past, it might have been a little bit more lax. But the council gets so much information, and some of the packets are over 100 pages long, and so this really kind of breaks it out.
Oh, yeah, no, I have no problem with it. Yeah, and just the procedure and then knowing that you've done this before, but we don't understand that step, I guess.
And she may come back to me tomorrow and say, no, I want you to write something out and have each one of them sign it, but if signing off on the minutes suffices for approving the content of them, I don't see any point in making a separate document.
Me neither, but I just want to be
Okay,
clear on
it's a good point.
what's required.
It's a good
I
point.
think, John, I think if we attend more council meetings, I think we'll see there's, that they have these agenda items, I've been guilty of not attending any of them.
Is this going to be standard from now on then, or what? We're going to have to sign?
I think you guys are off the hook as far as the signatures. I mean,
Yeah.
my signature, basically, we approved the minutes, I signed them, that's our signature. I mean, that's.
Oh, yeah, to be clear, I'm not worried about the signature. The only thing I was asking about was this document.
Right.
Just an explanation of what that document does and where it came from, and who required it, and how long we've been required to do it. The signing of stuff, I'll sign anything. I voted for it, I'll sign it, but it's just, I just had never seen that before. And then you refer to it as a document that we've done and you have to do all the time, but
Well, normally we don't have the lawyer here, and so I think that's part of it is, the lawyer wanted some kind of summary, the minutes and then some kind of summary to make,
It's a little more legal.
I guess.
And we may bend for new direction. It's a new, it's a new relationship, and she is very thorough. So if there's something more that she wants, I'm sure she'll let me know about that. But I think a lot of it has to do with the subject material and the fact that there's so many ordinances involved. Hopefully this is clear enough for everyone, and it won't be a problem. I will let you know if for some reason they're dissatisfied with just the cover sheet. I'm giving them the entire record, including the sign-in page and materials we received, the one letter before the meeting, and then the materials that were submitted during the meeting to add to their big fat packet.
Any further discussion on that? Okay, we're going to move on to planning commission duties.
Any opportunity for audience comments?
We'll take a comment, but what do you have?
Mark Oz,
603
603 3rd Avenue Southeast, Pacific. You want me to stand up for you? I don't want you to. I can't speak for the attorney, I can't speak for why you needed to sign. But I think you guys know that issue is like a red hot button issue. I'm not sure if you knew that. I think you knew that. Yeah. And I'm glad she's asking for your signatures, and personally, I think you all should sign it, because I went to council last week and recommended they all watch the video to know how frustrated at least one person was that our comments were completely ignored in your considerations. We became hash marks on a piece of paper, and even the hash marks weren't tallied, and all it was we talked about this too much. And this issue affects people's lives. Housing stuff does too in the long run, but this does in the immediate way. As one of those 8 people in your tally, 8 to 6, 8 who said ban, 8 who said ban, 6 who said yay, but somehow the ban became irrelevant. We listen to people, but not really. It's really frustrating. You say you want people to talk, you want the input of people, and then when we bring it to your table, you don't even consider it.
Well, how do you know?
You don't even talk about it, because I was at the meeting,
Right.
and you did not talk about it. You did not talk about any of those comments. I was here, I heard you. Here's the hash marks, evenly drawn. We'll vote to approve. You didn't listen. That's frustrating to me. I'm expressing my frustration.
Okay.
You're meeting, quite frankly, with a hash of anything called parliamentary procedures, and that was very frustrating to see on an issue of this importance. You know there's lawsuits flying all around the state about this. And quite frankly, anybody who wants to sue on any of those multiple sides, they have a wonderful video record to file some good lawsuits. Because we made a hash of any serious consideration. So, if you have personal comments besides your official ones, I'd encourage you to pass them on to your council people. Because I heard last week some of you aren't in favor of the way it went. Go ahead and express it to your council people. That's all. I'm frustrated.
Okay. Julie?
Thank you for listening.
Okay. So,